whatever pain we are going through, there is always some gift within your pain.
Yeah.
There's always some gift, and it's always bigger than the pain. So, and that's not just motivation. You cannot keep yourself so small. You have to always have a big dream that scares you. I always say that if your dream doesn't scare you, you're not dreaming yet. You need to dream big enough that it scares you.
Hi beautiful people, how are you doing? Karibuni sana hapa kwa Poa Eat Out. But then you guys have been subscribing. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing, for watching, etc. Did I even say my name? I'm Priscilla Ndanu. So karibuni. And today, as usual, siko peke yangu. I have an amazing guest on our show today. She is a motivational speaker and life coach. Her name is Zilani. And my prayer is that by the time tunamaliza hii kipindi, you will just sit down, call yourself for a meeting, and do the necessary steps. So help me welcome Zilani. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're looking at me like, hey, kazini gumu.
The intro part, it's worthwhile. Just like you said, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a life coach. And I'm more into healing and transformation. Yeah, because I've seen the need, because I was there and I was healed and I'm transformed.
I'm so distracted. I'm listening to you and I'm like, oh my gosh, your eyes look so nice. I really need to get my head out of your eyes. They look so nice, but I hear you.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that when I was going through your website and just looking at what you do, and in my mind, I'm just thinking how much we know and how much we also don't know in regards to who we are.
Yeah.
And if it's healing, what do you need to heal? How do you know even that you need to heal something? You know, and that was interesting. And I thought this is something that very many people also need to know.
That is true.
Yeah, because guys are going through stuff.
Yeah, and many people are going through whatever they're going through in silence. We always feel like somebody is out there to judge you when you tell your story.
Yes.
Sometimes we are not even courageous enough to tell it to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know? So I thought, why not share my story? And as I help others also heal, so I had to also go through learning new skills that I didn't know exist. Actually, some of these things had to come from the need for me to heal from my brokenness.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it's everybody's initiative to take the journey to heal themselves. And even when you're not going through pain, everybody needs healing.
How do you heal when you're not going through pain?
Every human being is a sum total of what the caregivers put in them, what life has put in them, and mostly what the caregivers put in them. So these are things that were put in you without your consent, without your permission.
Yes.
Sometimes they're not even the right things that are supposed to be in you.
By caregivers, you mean the people around you, probably people who have raised you? What do you really mean when you say the caregivers?
The caregivers are like now when we are young, like from baby to about 7 to 10 years, the people who have been around you.
Yes.
Those are parents, those are older siblings,
yes.
Those are relatives, teachers, community. Like now, in every community, there are people.
Yes.
Every single community, there are different people, different kinds of people
yes.
who will put things in these children knowingly and sometimes even unknowingly. Actually, most of the times unknowingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these caregivers do what they do at their best.
Yes.
Everybody says that my parents did what they did because probably if they hurt you or whatever, they didn't know any better. They were just doing their best.
Yes.
But sometimes their best is not the best for you.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that even when you're not feeling the pain, everybody needs to reflect back into their childhood and see, did I ever maybe go through things that I shouldn't have?
Yeah.
And how can I grow from this to now what I'm supposed to be. So I grew up in a very good family. My mother gave birth to 10 children.
Wow.
She's a superwoman because she was a teacher. She's retired now. A teacher, actually a principal, and 10 children. You can imagine. Yes, she used to say that we were a staircase of babies. So she, of course, was very tough because maintaining all of us.
Yeah, and she's a principal. So.
Yes. And my father too was a teacher. They were also leaders in the church. So I can say that I grew up in a very stable home.
Wow.
Where, of course, leadership was paramount.
Yes.
We would have Bible study meetings.
Like you sit down like this, all of you.
Yes, and there was a family notebook where we write notes every week.
Oh, wow.
We plan, and every other time, after every 1 week, we will sit down again, revisit what we did. Everyone had something to improve on. Yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing someone say something like that.
My dad was very keen on childhood, on how to bring up children.
Yeah.
Now, after growing up myself, I realized that he also had shortcomings that he wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
Things like he was very tough. He was extremely tough, extremely strict, to the point of us fearing him when we were growing up. You know, the way like nowadays a girl child will cuddle the father.
Yeah.
And, that's normal, that's all right. For us, it was like, dad is here, nyamaza. So, but we got the basics.
Yes.
We got church, we went to school, we got values, we got, the right things that are supposed to be put in every child.
Yeah.
But in the same process, we also got now that toughness where that time, those days, a father, and where we grew up.
Yeah.
A father telling their children, I love you, was like a source of weakness or a kind of weakness.
It's things we never had.
Yeah. But now, growing up now, I know he loved us.
Yes.
I know he really cared. He was always home early. I never saw my father drunk.
Wow.
I saw him angry many times. But I also now, from where I stand now, I also know he had his own brokenness from where he also came from.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up there, humble home, going to school. I went to high school in another similar environment. The high school was in Kitui. I was a leader from Form 1. First term.
It's quite obvious. You're coming from a house with the principal and the teacher.
Yeah, a class prefect to Form 2. I became a library prefect.
Wow.
I went to the university. I did not do well enough to go to a public university. So I went to Strathmore, which was also very tough for me because now coming to Nairobi, I realized, we are poor.
Oh, you come to Strathmore, you're like, hey, the parking is bigger than the school.
Yeah, and now you're mixing with people who are even driving to school.
Yes,
and Makueni. I grew up in Makueni.
Yeah.
The high school was in Kitui.
But
then you're meeting with people who, they have everything. When you have your bus fare to school, that's enough.
It.
And I remember I used to stay with my brother. Forgive me for this, saying this, bro. But he used to tell me, Nairobi, watu hawakulangi lunch. It was a way of telling me that survive. You have to survive. Watu hawakulangi lunch Nairobi. So you go to school. So I would go to Strathmore. I went to Strathmore. I finished my CPA, and I got a job in an Indian farm. It was a construction company. We were producing and selling construction materials. And now in that environment, I was, muindi akikuandika job those days. I don't know, now maybe things have changed.
Yeah.
But you would be everything.
My mom used to work in an Indian company. Alikuwa anatuambia job huko hakuna mchezo. Indians, they were so strict at the time. Again, I don't know how now it's, but alikuwa kazi ya muindi. Wachana nayo.
And then you do everything. Like I was the cashier. I'm the one in charge of the payroll. I'm paying casuals. I'm making reports for the day. I'm selling. I'm still going to the field to make sure that my customers are happy when they come to the office. I'm the one taking them to the showroom. I'm making sure the office is clean. I'm making sure the lunch is ready for everyone.
The description is a whole it's a
making the payroll and all those kind of things. At that time, I felt that I was being misused.
Yeah.
And well, of course, the pay was very little. But now, looking back, I see that I was being taught how to even, multitask in so many things.
Yeah.
Some of the things I do now, I refer back to that environment.
Because you're exposed to so many things at the exact same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I started working there, I met someone who was a client, and he was quite a good friend. We became really tight friends. He pushed me to go back to school.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I went back to school. I started my degree in marketing because I felt that I talk to people nicely. I connect with people. I have a nice smile, and hey, I have a nice voice. So
wow, 10 over 10 plus 10.
you must learn to brag for yourself. So anyway, I went back to school. I went to the University of Nairobi to do marketing. And Strathmore was too expensive for me.
Because now you're paying for yourself.
I'm paying for myself. First semester, I got pregnant. Now in this friendship relationship that I was in. Situationship. And now reality started sinking in that, I wasn't as special as I thought. And, all those kind of things. And well, I enjoyed my pregnancy, and I had also started doing business. I had registered a construction company.
Oh, nice.
Because I saw a loophole where I was working. Our boss would sell the tiles, but there was a section for concrete tiles, and they are very delicate to handle. So I would take the initiative now to install them for the clients.
Nice.
So I became now like a subcontractor kind of, but in secret. Mwindi akijua unatafuta pesa ya kando ni shida. So so I was doing it in secret. So I would get my own clients from just within. I do the job, I get my money. So that's how I was paying for my school fees. And I was doing well. So I continued for some time. I had my baby. I would sometimes drop out of school. Sometimes I just take 2 units instead of 5, because of the stress of pregnancy and also work, and I'm doing business. It was tough, but I still continued.
Trying to figure it all out.
Yeah. Now, after some time, I actually really dropped out from school. I had my baby.
Yeah.
And then I left work. I stopped working for the Indians.
That's a lot. Like you're working, you have a baby.
Yeah, it was a lot. But I've never really sat down to feel sorry for myself. I always wanted to look forward to what next? What next? What can I do next?
That's a good attitude.
Yeah. And I think even from my own, everything I've been through in my life, I think that attitude of what next has really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I have my business.
Yes.
So I've had to now really work. So I get out, I get people to work with. Sometimes I get conned. Sometimes I get a good job. I do interior design. I expanded now from just installing tiles to laying external works like doing cabros, these paving blocks, paint work, special paints, gypsum ceilings, curtain works, anything to do with inside and outside.
Wow.
I did well. And then I realized also I love farming. My father's land touches earthy.
Yeah.
So he used to do a lot of farming. And when he's from work, he would go to the farm.
Yeah.
My mom is at home with us. So my dad always would manage the farm. Sometimes we also in the farm. So I loved farming.
Yeah.
So I started now looking at what can I do to help the farmer.
Yes.
Because now I don't really love the farming itself, but I could help the farmer. So I got some other people. We started a business importing greenhouses from China.
So we did you're multifaceted.
Yeah.
So many things. Nice.
We brought our first container and they turned out to also be not straightforward people. So
what you ordered versus
yeah. No, the things were all right.
The greenhouses were real.
They were real, and I had really marketed them. So people would call me to ask for greenhouses.
Yes.
Yet now my partners have already spoiled the business. They've actually squandered the money and we don't have any more greenhouses to sell.
Yes.
So again, what next?
What next?
So I bought a pipe bender, I bought a drill, I bought all these machines, welding machine, and I started fabricating greenhouses myself.
Wow.
So I would fabricate now the chumas, all those things. I got a yard where I was doing that work. I did a greenhouse demo and I was doing okay.
I like that you're able, that's what's next is not just what next, it's more ideas.
Yeah.
You take risks and just go all out.
Actually, the taking of risks. Yeah. So,
and the way many women in business, I mean, they like to take small, minimal risks or no risk at all. That's why
many even give up.
Very many, The moment they encounter the first hurdle, they're like, business is not for me. Or the first or the second. So just hearing you, I'm hearing you and I'm like, the way I've tried to do so many things and just trying to figure it out. And now I'm like, I'm really encouraged, because eventually you find your path. And you find your way and you find what you're really passionate about.
That's true.
I'll keep on keeping on.
You cannot keep yourself so small. You have to always have a big dream that scares you. I always say that if your dream doesn't scare you, you're not dreaming yet. You need to dream big enough that it scares you. Yeah.
I hear you.
So I'm doing greenhouses. I've already graduated from just interior works and small finishings. I was also doing construction. I did some dormitory somewhere, some water tanks, some houses.
Wow.
I'm doing well.
You're okay.
Relatively.
Yeah.
Okay.
The baby is okay.
The baby is okay. The father was nowhere to be seen. I was a single mom. At the same time, I love fun. So I was that girl who Friday nafika lini tuende out. What time are we going?
Mambo ni mingi, masaa ndio machache.
Yeah, and then it got to a point where I felt like I need someone in my life. I need someone stable, I need a husband. So I started praying for a husband. My son also would ask me, Sasa mom, mbona sina baba? These kind of things.
Yeah.
So I started praying for a husband. And sometimes, when you're praying to God, the devil is also listening.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, my father used to tell us that the devil is powerful. But with God, of course, his powers are too little.
Yes.
So I don't know how it happened, but I met someone through a friend.
Yeah.
He was a foreigner. He was really nice to me. He immediately swept me off my feet and came with the story of I'm looking for a wife, not a girlfriend.
That's and from your end, you're really looking for someone to be a husband, not just dating.
Almost immediately became a wife, but he's the one who moved into my house.
Allah.
Being a foreigner,
I hope it ends well because I'm already saying Allah. Why is he moving?
It ends well. Let me tell you, there's nothing on earth that happens to you that ends wrongly, but only if you choose to let it end the way you want it to.
You know you're a motivational speaker, so this is you motivating me and yourself and the listener in such a space. Anyway,
exactly.
Carry on.
You know, whatever pain we are going through, there is always some gift within your pain.
Yeah.
There's always some gift, and it's always bigger than the pain. So, and that's not just motivation. So this guy comes in, moves into it with me, and he was doing football business. For those who understand football, if you have a club of footballers and you can now sell them to other clubs that can buy the footballers, and you're paid some money and then they are paid some salary. So he has an academy, a football academy back in his country. So he had come to Kenya with some footballers. They started from Tanzania, then they came to Kenya, then they were heading to Ethiopia. So I met them when they were in Kenya through a friend. A friend who was also a footballer. His connection was innocent. He was like, meet this guy and see if he can take me and manage me because he has a club back in his country and all that. So he moved in and slowly, now we are like husband and wife and we're living like husband and wife.
And how was that for your baby?
He liked him. The guy was very good with with my son.
They bonded. They
well.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was
nice.
I think he had something good about him that he bonded well with children.
That's really nice.
We hit the road. He was kind of broke. So I was funding most of the things we were doing. At that time, I was actually saving to buy a house. I saw his dream. I saw his what he was doing, and
his vision.
It
must have been big. I mean.
It was, He's a big dreamer. He is. That one, he's really a very big dreamer. So he shared this dream with me, and I liked what he was doing, and I started investing in his dream. Because I also felt that I am empowering my family. I'm empowering him. I'm helping. So at that time, I was constructing a church, actually, a big church in somewhere in Utawala. And it got to a point I was only doing the structure. The roofing was a bit complicated. So that one was now taken over by another contractor. So when now we stopped my part, that time the pregnancy and all that, so I wasn't really working so hard as I should. And then this guy has already now gotten his foot in Kenya. I got him a work permit, a driving license. He uses my car, goes out, comes back.
Oh, wow. Quite the supportive partner. Wow.
In a short time, I think I met him in January 2014, and about November, that we were completely broke because he hasn't managed to sell any footballer. They went to Ethiopia, it couldn't work. I even actually went with them. So it's something that I can say I witnessed. We didn't sell any footballer there. We came back. Life was tough now.
Now your funds, all
my
your resources, your
savings.
savings for the house. Wow.
We are broke, and now we're living in a big house. And actually, now I told you that he had come to Kenya with some footballers. It got to a point where now we, instead of paying for their house, why don't they move in with us, because we have a big house, we have an extra room, they take the extra room, and tukaishi tu.
Aki, in another life, may God give me that grace too.
I think I still have that grace, but of course I'm wiser. I know, of course, there must be boundaries to some of these things. Now I'm broke, so he started talking about going back to his country and selling some property that he has and coming back to invest. Before I give birth, this should be around and all that. So me and my big heart, we sold my car to fund to fund for his ticket and pay rent arrears that we had, and so many other debts that had accumulated. And he left, and then we moved into a smaller house.
My gosh.
A smaller house. And when I say we, it was me in my pregnancy.
Your baby.
My baby.
The footballers.
And 4 footballers.
Hey.
We stayed together he left when I was 5 months pregnant. When I was giving birth, things were still very thick.
Yeah.
He would still send some little money here and there. Sometimes I would just borrow here and there.
Managed to sell the property?
I don't think there was ever any property. So he went, stories after stories after stories. I gave birth. And now when I was going to give birth, I told the footballers that, you guys are, I don't think, you're not orphans and you're mature.
You're big guys.
I think it's time for you guys to find your own life.
In my head, I'm thinking, why can't they just go look for another job?
Yeah.
And get a job as they
That's something I've never understood about footballers, and mostly from, I don't know, West Africa. They moved out. So it was now me, my 2 babies now. And I had to heal.
Yes.
And I remember even we were living in a 2-bedroom house, and it was 2nd floor. And where we used to hang our clothes was 5th floor. And I would wash. I have CS, najifulia, napandisha hizo nguo step by step, pole. It's painful, but I'm just doing it. And
I can't even, nilifanywa CS. I could feel every movement I make.
Even when you're breathing, you feel pain.
Like nikitembea nasikia tu. Nikiamka, nikikaa, I'm like, what is happening?
So I healed pole somehow. Maybe the walking up the stairs and down was exercise for me to even heal faster. I healed, and then now it got to a point where now this guy, we are still talking. We were talking every single day, asking for photos. Can I see my baby? Can I do this? He would send me some little money here and there. And then the agreement was that he comes back.
Yes.
But he never came. So he suggested that we go to his country, because there he has a home, he has a job,
he has a
it
life.
would be easier for him to manage us, to take care of us.
Wow.
And I think this is now where I can say that every person who is looking for a person to marry, you must know this person really has a lot of control over who you will become.
Yes.
Over what you will achieve, over what, and it's not just for women. It's
even for men.
It's both
everyone,
ways. We agreed that we go. So what I did was I said I'm going to get their passports for the children. I had my own passport. So I'll get passports for the kids. He's going to send us tickets.
Yeah.
And for me to get passports. Yes. And then I didn't have money, of course. I don't have income.
And plus, umeacha hizi vitu zingine zote.
I had even sold, things that were fitting in a 3-bedroom house.
They can't fit in a
with a small garage. I had sold so many things.
Even
and
your car.
My machines za kutengeneza greenhouse. The greenhouse demo, I even sold it.
Oh, no.
Everything I had just given them out, selling at throwaway price. In Kenya, you buy this cup at 1,000 bob and you want to sell it tomorrow. Even in the same nice shape.
Yeah, even
you
with
will
the
sell
box.
it at 200 shillings.
Yes. Akipole.
Yeah, so I started selling my things. Nipate pesa ya passport, pesa ya kukula, movement, all these things.
And hopeful, because you're like, when we go, it's going to be like this. And did you talk to your son about it?
I had talked to him. He was very excited. He liked the guy.
Yeah, and they missed each other.
Yeah. And they would talk every other day. So he liked it. He embraced the change that is coming.
Yeah.
We had talked. I talked to my family. My parents were not happy about it, because I remember one time before before I even had the baby, the small baby, I had gone to my village to visit my parents with him now to report that we are living together.
Yes.
But I remember my father didn't like him.
At all.
He would ask him questions that were, for me, they should have been wake-up calls.
Yes, because you had the answers that have been given.
Yeah, and I
but ulikuwa in love.
And I said, mi ndo naishi na yeye. Mi ndo namjua.
So your dad is trying to help you.
Yeah, he actually called me in his bedroom that same night and told me, sit. You know, in our culture, it's like, you cannot enter your father's bedroom. And I remember the last time I ever entered his bedroom, I think I was like 10. Baby. Yeah, and then now he's calling me and telling me, sit on the bed. So I sat on one edge, of course he sat on the other edge. And he said, do you know why I have called you here? So my mother was also there. So he told me, I think you need to take things slow with this guy. There's a lot about him that doesn't add up. There's a lot about him that is not correct.
Yeah.
I can see through him and see that so many lies and so many things that are not straightforward.
Yeah.
So you need to take things slow. You need to, to take care of yourself. But Mimi, just stepping out of that room, I was like, mi ndo namjua. Mi ndo naishi na yeye. You know, in Africa, we say that... yeah, but what your parent or an elder who really loves you and cares, what they can see when they are sitting, even if you climb the longest tree, you cannot see it.
Yeah.
So I never saw all that. I shared with them that I'm going. And now the time I was sharing, I've already now sold everything.
You sold everything.
I even
and your parents have been watching you sell one thing after the other.
Yeah.
Wanakuona tu.
They could see what is happening. My sisters saw, my brothers saw, everyone my friends. And everyone, I can't remember any single person who was telling me that I'm making the right move.
Yeah, everyone is like, hapana.
Yeah.
Hey, hapana.
Yeah.
Mimi kwanza mimi ningekwambia hapana. Wacha. I'm so sorry.
I had sold everything. I even called another lady to come and take my things. She runs a children's home. She came and carried like gari akarudia. And ameweka boot, it was a touring. And it was a big car. And she carried my things. And anyway, I'm happy they helped those children. But
you were really sold out.
I was going. I didn't need many clothes. I didn't need
I want to find out, did you go?
So now I moved in with my sister with a suitcase of clothes.
Yes, because you're leaving.
Yeah, as I wait to move. And the arrangement was that we are moving in the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
So my parents, first of all, came to Nairobi. We did a bash.
Yeah, a farewell.
A farewell bash. My friends came, my cousins, they did a big bash for me. Wow. We cooked, we prayed. And I remember one of my auntie would pray like, if she goes, and then I'm asking her, auntie, where are you saying if? I am going, So,
like accept it, naenda.
So, wakaenda nyumbani.
Kuna kitu watu wote walikuwa wanaona.
The following week,
I'm so anxious.
The following week, I'm supposed to move to go to Ghana. It's in Ghana, so I'm supposed to go to Ghana the following week with my babies. Everything for me was ready.
Yes,
my packed bags, my packed. I have the passports, yellow fever.
Okay,
everything. Tukangoja. A week comes.
Waiting for tickets now.
Yeah, and we're talking every day.
Yeah.
Actually, the day of the party, the guy called and talked to my parents and assured them that I'm in good hands. Now, we started waiting for tickets, and it was every day waiting. In fact, it was during the August holiday. My son had come from school. Nimemtoa shule, we are going. And now we have moved even to another estate. So we are living with my sister, my son. Now shule zimefunguliwa. And that time, it was those days of government,
Yes.
they had just introduced free education.
Yeah.
So no child should be in the house.
Kwanza neighbors wakiona mtoto kwa nyumba, they report you.
So I would lock him inside the house, with myself there, tunakaa kwa nyumba until evening. Now he can go out and play. Then I bought him books. I would homeschool him. I homeschooled him that whole term, waiting for tickets.
So you stayed at your sister's house for a whole term?
Yeah.
A term is 2 months or 3?
3 months. But I ended up staying with her for 6 months. So it got to a point
You
now,
never went?
I never went.
Hey, okay, I'm
Actually,
so sorry.
it's
Guys,
not even the
funny,
going.
but, hey,
the tickets never came.
the tickets. Like, bado mlikuwa mnaongea?
Yes, we're still talking.
Faithfully.
Yeah. So it got to a point now, I told him, it seems that you managing to raise a ticket is so hard for you. At least I'm in my country and I'm with my children. Let me get back to work. Let me start just
because you see, you're an adult with 2 children living at your sister's house.
Yeah.
Hata kama sister yako anakupenda aje?
Of course.
Itakuwa tu.
Yeah, so zingine tunabarana here and there.
Hata ku-understand. Ulisema unakaa 2 weeks.
And everyone plans for their own comfort. Yes. Now I've come to intrude into their comfort.
Like.
So now I told him that I think I'm not going to come. Now let's stop the story of coming. But you plan yourself and come. I'm still hopeful. We are still a family in my heart. Then, so I started talking to these clients that I had before.
Yeah.
I would go to somebody and just pour out and tell them this is what happened. I'd have nothing. I don't even have food. If you have a site I can sweep, I will sweep.
Oh, yeah.
If you have whatever, anything you can do, I will do it. So I got some work for interior design.
Yeah.
I did paint work, I did curtains, and I got some little money and moved from my sister's place. I remember I started now buying plastic cups.
Everything from scratch, like you had
tatu tu za plastic ndio tupulie, you know, vitu kama hizo. And plastic cups, plastic, everything, just the cheapest I could get.
Just to kuanza
maisha, second-hand beds, second-hand mattress, everything.
Even mattress.
Yes.
Wow.
Some people donating to me. My family would donate me some plates to me.
Your parents were feeling bad.
Of course, yeah. And so now I've already moved out, and so I get a call from Ghana, from a lady. Am I talking to Mrs. So-and-so? I said, yeah. I said, wow, somebody knows me from Ghana. I'm Mrs. So-and-so. So
you have hope. Hey.
So she tells me, well, I wanted to talk to you about something that is very serious, and I hope, I know it is going to break you, and I wanted to tell you that this guy is married, and then I asked her, for how long has he been married? And she said, for 10 years. 10 years.
Hey.
And I'm like, so how do you know he's been married? How can I trust you?
Yes.
She said, because I'm the wife. And she said, I asked her, where have you been? I mean, this guy even shared my photos on Facebook, my baby's photos on Facebook. Sometimes, now looking back, I could see that the photos he would share, but a little bit discreet. Like, you know, the way I was with so.
You wouldn't really tell who that person is.
Yeah, and then for her to know that this was somebody who was, I meant something to this guy, she would see now his sisters commenting, calling me my in-law. My in-law, we love you, my in-law, blah, blah, you know, all this.
You know, when they comment like that, it's a surety for you.
Yeah.
What?
Because even when he was here, I would talk to the sisters, I would talk to the mom.
Them, they were okay with you.
Apparently, the wife had not had children with him, so they were okay with him marrying another wife. But I was in the... How do you marry somebody who doesn't even... It's like kidnapping.
The woman calls you.
Yeah,
and
tells
she tells
me
you all these things.
For 10 years, I told her, I still don't believe you. Send me evidence. So she sent me photos from an album. You know, you can tell, not Photoshop, but you can tell.
It's like a physical...
Yeah, photos, wedding photos from an album. So
And
I was
she's
like,
really,
wow.
She took the time to just do all the necessary work to explain to you politely.
So she told me everything and how their life has been. And so I shared with this guy, and she said the first thing was like, how did you get this? Block that number. This is a lie. It is Photoshop. It's what?
How now?
Then, of course, I didn't. Now I had believed it. So I asked the sisters, and they told me, we are sorry. We had to lie to you because we were covering our brother. So now it was for me to start thinking, what next now? And I was struggling at that time. I was really, really struggling.
You have used all your money.
Yes.
You
all
have
my
given
money. This
all
guy,
your love. You have given everything.
And the money that he used to send kidogo kidogo, he stopped sending. He always says that he's broke and I don't know what. So now I started.
Oh, how did you deal with that?
My first job that I went to, nilienda Gikomba kununua manguo. So I started opening bales now. Nafungua bale ya shati za wanaume. I was actually selling mashati za wanaume. Zile zinaitangwa nini? Camera. You know, you sell like, maybe you've bought like 50 shirts, and even the capital was given to me by somebody who I told my story. Akanihurumia tu, akaniambia wewe na ujisaidie na hiyo. So I've bought these shirts. I've sold like 20 shirts, and the rest, no one is walking into my stall. And the stall was, you know, zile zinajengwa kwa barabara za mabati.
Yes.
No, where I was selling, it was somewhere in Tasia.
Oh, okay.
So no one is walking in. I'm just with my shirts. Now I started selling them at throwaway price.
Yeah, because they need to move.
Within 2 months, I closed that shop. And I went back to, God, show me what next.